What is up, guys? Welcome into a brand new video. Now today we're going to be talking about news that's happened in cricket games, in cricket, various things like that. We did one last week. It seemed to go down pretty well, so we're going to go for it today as well. Now, starting off, we didn't get a patch in Cricket 24 this week. Now, we usually get a patch every week. We pretty much have done since release. But for some reason, we just didn't get one this week. I don't know why. Whether it's just a bit busy leading up to Christmas and things like that. A lot of these dev teams for various different games kind of take this time off over the Christmas period. So I think maybe that's why. Hopefully we'll get one this week. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't heard anything. There was a Ross tweet that came out saying, it was on the 14th, they said that there might be an update coming out or there's going to be an update coming out soon, and that Big Ant would announce when the update's going to be, but we haven't seen anything as of yet. I really hope this isn't that they've just kind of forgotten about the game already. I don't think it is, but for some reason we just didn't get a patch last week. I know we got 2 the week previous, and hopefully this is building up to a bit more content coming into the game, because the game's in a pretty good state right now. There's no real massive glitches in it or anything like that. So hopefully they're just spending their time and effort putting a bit more content in. Hopefully, we get Pro Team very, very soon. I don't know when. I mean, my initial reaction was that it's going to be like 6 months after launch. So maybe that could be something like March, but that's just me guessing at this point. So yeah, no Cricket 24 patch this week. Hopefully there'll be one as next week, and then maybe after Christmas. Probably we won't see one over the Christmas period. I very much doubt it. Now, something that I did find quite amusing is that obviously there's a England and West Indies series going on at the moment, and Cricket 24 seems to be one of the kind of banner sponsors that go around the pitch. So you had Harry Brook looking behind Cricket 24 this week, maybe trying to find this week's patch, because obviously we didn't get one. It's just quite amusing, as it's not a massive game, like not a lot of people play it. I think a fair few people know about it, but I found it quite amusing to see the Cricket 24 logo kind of plastered all over the ground. And I thought, you know what, we play that all the time. Now, moving on to the actual cricket that happened this week, we had England and West Indies play a few games. West Indies been pretty dominant, but it was an absolutely unbelievable chase from England in the latest T20 on, I think it was Saturday night it happened, UK time. Do you know what? Just absolutely unbelievable. They end up chasing 222. Phil Salt 109 off about 50 odd deliveries. Harry Brook came at the end 31 off 7. I mean, some knock, it really was. Butler got a 50, which is always nice to see. He's been so out of form recently, and we just want to see him get as many runs as possible. I think Livingston chipped him with a little 30. Will Jacks, don't know what happened with Will Jacks. I mean, I think he got almost nothing. I did make a video this week saying that England are back. I don't necessarily mean that. It was slight satire there. But it was an absolutely incredible chase. I think it was the 9th highest chase in T20I history. So yeah, I mean, unbelievable for the lads. Hopefully we can carry on this bit of momentum, win the series 3-2. We need to start winning some games leading up to the T20 World Cup, and hopefully we can defend the T20 World Cup a little bit better than we did with the ODI Cup. Now, Australia played a test match against Pakistan this week. Pretty dominant from Australia. The same that we've seen for God knows how many years of Australia at home. They're just dominant. I mean, I think the series they've lost, you can literally count the series they've lost in that on one hand in the last 15 years. It's just ridiculous they're dominant at home, especially seems to be at Perth. I mean, no one seems to be able to play on that Perth pitch. Nathan Lyon picked up his 500th test wicket. I mean, there was a couple of tweets coming out saying, can he break Warne's 700? I don't think he can. I think he's 36 now. You got to think that he's got 4 years left in him. at max, probably. I mean, there's not many cricketers that go past 40. 50 a year from now on. I don't know. I think he'd probably be struggling to get over that 700 mark. But another dominant performance. Pakistan didn't quite look up to it. The problem with Pakistan is that I just don't understand what their idea is. I mean, Harris Ralph is currently in Australia playing in the Big Bash. I know it was slightly political. I didn't really look into it when they brought out their side. I just kind of expected them to get steamrolled. I don't know. The problem is that Pakistan looks so much better on paper, but just can't seem to follow through with anything, especially in Test cricket. I think they've got a really, really good white ball side, but just can't seem to make it click in Test match cricket. I think we are getting to a stage where there is just going to be 3 nations playing Test cricket, and there might be the occasional test for a South Africa or a New Zealand or something, but no one else seems to be that interested in Test cricket. I mean, even India don't seem that interested in Test cricket anymore. It seems to only be Australia and England actually caring about Test matches these days. There was also another test between England women and India women. This ended in what was quite disappointing fashion for England. I think they lost by about 347 runs in the end. It's the biggest win in women's Test history. India put on 400 odd in their first innings, and then England kind of collapsed pretty easily for about 100, just less than 150 in each of their innings. Just really struggled with the Indian conditions, which is kind of understandable when you think about how little red ball cricket is played by the women these days. There's usually a test just thrown in once a year. I mean, I think this is England's second test match this year. And we're expecting them to go out and actually perform, and you just can't imagine that happening. We've got no domestic red ball system. They play very little red ball cricket in the international stage. I understand that most of the money's in T20s and ODIs, and that there isn't as much money pumped into the women's game, so therefore they've got to generate their own revenue. So, but as a purist of the red ball game, I'd love to see him play more red ball cricket, but I understand that it's probably not that viable financially. But when there is a test match, then it's always exciting to see. So there was an ODI between South Africa and India this week, just gone. I think it was yesterday they played. South Africa got absolutely embarrassed. They got bowled out for about 116. India go on to chase it in about 16, 17 overs. As you can see, it was South Africa's lowest total at home in Johannesburg in men's ODIs, and their second biggest men's defeat in terms of balls remaining. They got hammered. Now, I know this is both sides are playing relatively inexperienced sides. They're not kind of the teams that were playing in the ODI World Cup. There's a few rested, there's a few on franchise duty and things like that, but it was an absolute hammering. I don't expect it to be the same for the rest of the series, but I just think that the depth of the India side, if 2 teams are playing their B team, then the India side's going to be better just because they've got a lot more depth than the likes of South Africa. But I am intrigued to see how this kind of series plays out. I'm surprised they're playing ODI so quick. I thought they'd just do, say, 5 T20s. It seems to be that everyone's kind of taking a break from ODI cricket while we get into kind of T20 World Cup stuff. So it's understandable. I know there was a few ODIs, so there's been a few ODIs in the West Indies-England series. New Zealand and Bangladesh are currently playing an ODI series. But do you know what? I'm a little bit white ball cricketed out at the moment. I want to see Test match cricket now. I'm really missing England Test match cricket at the moment. And it's hurting a little bit. It's been too long. We haven't played a test since July. I think it was like the 1st of August. So the 18th of December. We still don't play another test for another month. It's been tough. It really has been tough. But guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Not much kind of cricket gaming news. We haven't had any trailers. We haven't had any patch releases. There's been no real news come out. I think it will probably quieten down on the kind of cricket gaming news front leading up to Christmas now. So that's completely understandable with a lot of the dev teams taking time off for Christmas. But please remember to like, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.